Hello, welcome to Nixie's Notebooks, and I am your host, and today we're going to go over some of the pieces of ephemera that I made out of scrap paper, especially those really long pieces that I glued, rounded off the edges and glued on top of each other, made them kind of look like little tabs, I guess. I don't know what else you'd call it. This is the journal I'm going to do it in. I just want to give a quick overview, just kind of show you it's kind of a flip out journal. I do have to create a page for it, so I'm doing that right now. I'm not embossing the edges. I forgot the word for that. I'm scoring the edges so that way I can fold it and it will fold well and hopefully the paper won't break. I jumped ahead a little bit. I inked up the edges, put a little bit of tape on there. I now realize that there's glue on the side. I don't know if you can see it. It's a very tiny piece of glue. And it's going to bother me to no end. It kind of looks, I just don't like the way it looked. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a collage on this side, and then on the other side of the page I am going to do a belly band. So I was going to show you the long pieces of scrap paper as well as a couple of the smaller pieces that I had cut into either squares or other shapes and put a stamp on them, like an ink stamp on them, so that way to kind of decorate the little piece, so you kind of see how I would use it in a book. Just wanted to give you guys some context on it, that's all. This was a prior video, maybe about a couple weeks ago, so I just want to give you some context as to how I would use it. What I'm doing on the other side you really can't see because of course I'm not in this frame, is I made a little tab on that side of it. When you're making these sort of journals, like you start off with one page, then you add another page, then you add another page, and you do it from either side or the top or the bottom or whatever. But you have to make sure you are holding the pages right, because if you aren't, it can become a big mess. So I'm just inking it up. I think I ink a little bit up. I think I cut some of the inking on this, just to kind of speed things along here. That was made from 2 long pieces of scrap, like cast-offs. When I'm sizing the pages and stuff, that's what I made it from. I have a ton of those, and I don't know, I just paid good money for paper and I don't want to waste any of it. The hexagonal piece up there also was something I made in that whole, I think I had a whole bunch of scrap paper just sitting on my desk, and for like 2 weeks that's all I did was make ephemera. Mostly it was either smaller pieces that I put a stamp on them or a sticker, or it was those long thin pieces that you can use. You can use as almost like a frame to put some words on, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm ripping off a line off of the inside or an insert of a card. I would advise against not so when I cut that one, I made the top I cut it really close, or I ripped it really close to the words. I would have rather used a ruler just to make it, I don't know, look a little more uniform, but it came out okay. Basically, I think it says something like love is seen every day, or something like that. I do have to kind of trim it up a little bit. That's the one thing I don't like about ripping like this, is you kind of see where you put your fingernails down to kind of rip it apart, if you have fingernails. Now, I just have been kind of playing around here to kind of figure out what I wanted to do. I'm going to show you a few examples in a minute of other things you could do. Because I put that gold line on there, you got to be careful. Like if you put a line like that across a page, you have to be really careful. Either it's got to be like almost perfectly straight, or it's on an angle, or everything you put on top of it is on an angle so it doesn't make the eye catch the that it's off center. You can see here, it kind of is, you can tell, especially with that little piece, the little teapot. It makes it, you can really kind of see it. There are other things you can do. I just want to kind of give some ideas as to what you can do. I mean, you can do something as small as that. You can write a tiny little word on there, like, you know, love or something like that. I just chose 3 little hearts. They're not all like on the same row, but I think that kind of gives it some character. Like they're not all even or straight. I will use them later. Spoiler alert. Yeah, this glue, it's old, so I'm struggling with it. I struggle with it throughout this whole video and while crafting. Gets these large like bubbles at the top, and the air gets trapped under like some glue, and then it's hard to, like, the air can't get out unless it bubbles out of the tip. Drives me nuts. Here I am, I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do with this. I end up with this piece of fabric. That butterfly is actually a stamp that I used, stamped onto there. That's what I did with some of the ephemera. Some of the ephemera I put stamps or stickers on there. When I say stamp, I mean like a rubber stamp. Fighting with the glue again. It's my favorite battle. Be careful when you put fabric, this glue on fabric. You just gotta be careful not to smush it down and have the glue come out from underneath it, because that's definitely what you don't want. Especially and if you have this type of fabric tack glue that you're using or anything similar to this, if the tip is a little dirty, you probably want to make sure you're pulling off all the excess glue. It'll make it easier when you go to glue down what it is you're trying to glue down, because it won't have like a hard rubbery piece that's stuck to in the glue. Now you see I tilted it a little bit. It's going to keep the eye from actually seeing that gold strip is probably not perfectly centered. Your mind will know, even though your eyes sometimes may not understand, like it'll look off. That happens a lot. So if you're ever looking at something that has 2 straight lines and it looks weird, it's because one of them's a little off. Now this is a belly band. I changed it. But you could do it on the side like before, like in that other picture. You can do it in the center, or here I am just going to I'm going to do it off to the side, a little off kilter. It's going to be more of a tuck than a belly band, I guess. This is just one more way that you can use these long strips of ephemera if you want to make some of those. They're great. Like I said, if you have the ephemera from the cast-offs and stuff and you pay good money for it, I mean, you might as well make it into something you might be able to use later and just have on hand. And this is where I use the little hearts there. You see me gluing it down. The only thing is kind of soften up the gold right there. That gold, how it ends, I just want to kind of soften that up a little bit, so it just, because it's such a blank page, I don't want it to detract from it, or you know, it really will detract from the rest of the page if I hadn't done that. You'd just see this like gold strip and it would have looked funny. I was gonna put a flower sticker where it started underneath the band and then kind of went out, and I changed my mind. I just decided to actually put that in there. So, and then I put other pieces of ephemera. I just wanted to see how much room I had to see if I could put one more piece of ephemera in there. So I looked through what I had. I was kind of waiting to make sure it was all glue dried, or the glue was dried. There we go. And there's the belly band. See, it's kind of it's more like a tuck, but well, not really a tuck. It kind of is a belly band, I guess. It's a place to slide papers into. But they're great for that because, you're not wasting paper. You have it already, and if you've made a whole bunch ahead of time, you can just pull one out that kind of matches what you're doing and add it in there. Maybe put a nice phrase on it or what have you. I like glue. I like that glue a lot because you can still move it around a little bit once it's on the paper. I have a lot of problems with glue that I can't move because I can't lay anything down straight. So there you go. There are 2 ways to use some of that ephemera that I showed how to make last couple videos, and like and subscribe, and thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!